Darkness of Reality, Part 4. When the Berlin Wall came down, we replaced the Cold War with laughter, sadness, as communism came down. And we start looking for alternative replacement within the darkness of reality. It was time to blame the fall of Berlin Wall on something else. And then we managed to find something else to blame. Terrorism appeared from nowhere, and the world just went back to dark age. Terrorism became a new slogan in town. It became a dark side of a disturbed mind. It is not a tasty action. It is evil and dangerous. We started using extreme measures to counterfight terrorism. The entire world got a new weapon that gave them opportunity to use it whenever they found appropriate. In other parts of the world, they started using that weapon to silence their opponent. If I don't agree with you, or we don't agree with one another, the wind of change will carry you away to the kingdom of terror. It will carry you away. The world got a free passport to arrest and detain innocent people whenever opportunity knocks. In places like Uganda, the president was given an open check to use it as he pleases. He became a trusted agent of darkness, of reality. He had an open check. You can just write it anytime you feel like. It is just like somebody who just picked up a tortoise and threw a tortoise into water, thinking that the tortoise might die underwater. But later, they had to find out that if you throw a tortoise in the water, thinking that it does not enjoy water, but the tortoise really like living underwater. It is just like giving a madman a license to kill. And within no time, he will start killing. obtain, to make the man to continue and fulfill his dream of committing a brilliant genocide in the name of terrorism. Anyone who crosses his path at a terrorist level it gave him power to set up his own courts in the barracks in order to convict Ugandans, terrorists that happen to be those who opposes his military rule and those who want to force him out of power. It gave him abundant power to change the constitution and make it respond to his wish of becoming a president for life. It was the beginning of the death of democracy and the power of Africa. I kept asking myself, how can we be educated and be so blind not to understand that if you throw a wood in water, that wood will never turn into a crocodile? Just throw a wood. If you throw a log of wood in the ocean, it will never turn into a crocodile. Our legislators never thought that by changing the constitution, they were digging their own grave. They never thought about that. Now, they are stuck with a log of wood that is making their life turn upside down. And they are now living in the shadow of darkness of reality. The man is a very clever man. He knows how to play the games. He knows that the legislators are his rubber stamp. He knows that he can turn them. He can play them like a poker game. He's so clever. He knows that what they want is money. And the man, being so smart as he is, he decided to buy his own money printing machine. Whenever those legislators begin to make noise, he just ordered his right-hand man to print billions of money. buys them new cars whenever they come to the parliament. He pays them a lot of money, the salary, fat salary, so that they don't bother him and whatever he wants. He sent those papers to the parliamentarian who are a rubber stamp, and they will just stamp it. What do you do? If you accept bribe from the devil, you cannot turn and say, no, sorry, sir, I'm not going to give you what you want. You have to give him what he wants. When you turn into a rubber stamp, you can't do anything. We know the man want to build a dynasty. And in order to keep that dynasty dream alive, first, you have to make sure that those people clear the way for you to become a live president. And the moment you succeed, then you'll create your own dynasty, combining you with live president. So every time, and if you decide to step down tomorrow, then you have someone else already in line to replace you. They created the possibilities of making this man a live president. And the creation of a dynasty is almost complete. But we are wondering, nobody knows whether that dream is going to succeed. And he knows anybody who raises his voice become a terrorist. Even the generals who were with him in the bush, if you raise your voice, you'll be arrested and you'll be charged with treason. Because he knows how to play the game. Even those who want to leave the army, he will not give you the chance to leave the army. You'll stay at home with your title. You are still in the service, and you are under him, and he can arrest you at any time you want. Whether you call yourself general, or you call yourself major general, or you call yourself brigadier, it does not make a difference. You are still in service of the army. You see, that is how the game are being played, and all these people are living in the shadow of darkness, of reality. They are all lost in a war of mind, emotional rape, torture, and the road to truth seems to be far away for most of our people. Our own army caused a lot of bloodshed in Acholilam, in Luwero, and neighboring states. wherever they go, their footstep is very vigilant. The brilliant genocide that took place in 𝙁𝙤𝙧 land is bigger than me and you put together. They use a payback strategy for serving a government that never cared about what happens to the people of 𝙁𝙤𝙧 land. They never cared. He hated them from the beginning and wanted to finish what he started. But the journey was cut short. Due to a semi-peace talk. Negotiation that never delivered peace. They had high for the land, and we are still pedaling in shaky water. We have to make sure that the master plan they had never succeed, or we are going to get ourselves carrying Jesus' cross and the luggage we refuse to carry from the start. The risk of our land falling into the hand of foreigners is wide open. We have to protect our land as a tribe. We don't want to become beggars in our own homeland. We really don't want. And that will never happen. And if it happens, it will be a provocation or a start of a new war. And believe me, it is hard to predict how it will end. It is the darkness of reality that will then dictate individual actions. And this should be a warning to those who think they can come and go, trying to take our ancestral land. If you do, then the gate of hell will open. And to those who are playing Russian roulette with the land in 𝙁𝙤𝙧 land should understand that leaders come and leaders go, but the 𝙁𝙤𝙧 land will remain. You may use your power at this moment to intimidate the poor or to buy all the land you want in 𝙁𝙤𝙧 land. But let me tell you something. better think twice. Because if you don't have the blessing of our people, if you don't have the blessing of our ancestors, it will be difficult to keep that land. You may be an investor that uses people who are higher up to get what you want. But when the time comes, you love to talk to the actual people. You love to handle that affair with us, not the higher people. You know, when the hell will be wide open, then you will have to start making peace with our ancestors and ancestral spirit. That means that the fight will go on until the end. Make no mistake, we are ready to meet any challenge that may be directed toward us. It will be hard to convince many of us today, as you did when you had a free pass to use terrorism, fear, to silence our people. Those days are gone. The new dawn of a deadly killer, coronavirus, is here. And the transition from terrorism to new world order is just starting. Your dynasty, or the plan to create a dynasty, is going in flame. There is no fire without a smoke. Remember, when two elephants are fighting, it's the grass that suffers. This time, we know that the grass is not the target. The crooked dynasty is the source of our suffering. The elephant will spare the grass this time and head straight onto the target. The garden of death in Acholi land is your creation. The hidden agenda will come back to warn you, will knock at your door just to give you a farewell party, to show you that whatever happened whatever happened, has to take a journey to the land of no return. Those you killed will meet you with open arms. They have already prepared a special bed for you, and your friends are all there waiting your arrival. You had been connecting a lot of people. With the kingdom of death, torture, murder. It's time you taste the fruit of your own creation. It is time you also pedal through the darkness of reality. You have to pass. You are also living in the shadow of the darkness of reality. I can also start my journey by putting down the tragedy that happened to our people on record. Something our grandchildren will lean on. No one can conceal the truth about the killing of the Achulis under different regimes in Uganda. A lot of people participated in that process. We have the Matoput process. What we can drink, we all know. If we are wrong, we can all sit down and drink the bitter herbs. As we reconcile with our enemies. But those enemies have to come to us and ask for forgiveness. And we shall drink the bitter herbs together. Our door is open. Just come and knock, and the door will open. The blessing of our ancestors and ancestral spirit will guide us in our home state. Will guide us in our home state. We cannot replace life lost in Acholi land. The brilliant genocide in Acholi land was a mysterious source of slow death that descended on our people, our culture, our way of life. Those heavy-minded, educated military politicians tried very hard to change the map of Acholi land. But the journey was cut short. The dreams of a dynasty was cut short. The dream of a dynasty failed to reach a destination. When you read the newspaper and try to put the pieces together, You may not see the logic of creating a dynasty in a place that does not belong to you. We know that you were all out there to get rid of us by associating most of our people to terrorism. But we decided to cut your ambition short by refusing to fall in your trap. Some people thought that we may not see the light at the end of the tunnel, but they were wrong. We are much closer than they think. Our people has gone through hell, but still, when you meet them, talk to them, they still smile. They still smile with that beautiful, arrogant, actually smile. Despite all the pain they pass through within your own creation. We all know an whole wound is hard to cure. We tried to talk peace. That peace failed us. We gave you all the opportunity. You played the game of hide and seek. You tried to divide us in a game of divide and rule. We survived those traps you set for us. Deep in our heart, we hear the sound of sadness. We hear a drum from a distance calling us to wake up and protect our home state. Asking us to weed out those who sold us out in exchange of few dollars more. Those are our own brothers and sisters who sold their soul to the devil, who have taken everything from our people, simply because they were living in the darkness of reality. That memory will never turn us against them. Those memories will never turn us against one another. We are the protector of our homeland. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe.